Welcome to Calmsden Farm with me, CallMeBigPoppaC. Well, good morning. Welcome back to Calmsden Farm. I'm Big Papa C. Glad you could join me. As you can see, we're up here picking rocks on our field. We have Robert over in the lower field. On field 6, he is plowing. We worked up until about 9:30 last night, as you saw by the previous footage, and I slept in the night to 7 o'clock this morning, woke up, and what was left of our wheat crop was gone. It is toast, withered, gone. So we only managed to get about a little over 40,000 liters of that in there. We got about 93,000 in barley off of field 3. Come to find out, we got also have to do field 2 and plowing. So what my game plan is, I'm only 6 free. Put canola in 3. Maybe, if we're lucky, put canola in 2. If not, I'll probably leave it fallow till springtime. We need to do our grass fields, mow all the grass, plow them, get them going. I want to get some silage in the bunker. Want to get some hay made. That is the possible game plan that I wanted to take on. I'm hoping to get this done. Maybe rent a seeder and get up here and plant this in canola and get it going. We are on September the 1st. We started out in August, now we're on September the 1st. So we have 6 days before the month is over with. And we have a planting window for wheat, barley, or canola, and I'm going to do canola. I figured what we will do here in a little while is sell some of the barley off, keep the wheat, maybe look into snagging some chickens either later today or early tomorrow. But definitely tomorrow I want to start some grass work, get those grass fields properly taken care of, plowed, limed, fertilized, and get them also re-sown in grass for next year. I was sitting here thinking about all these little steps we do on our fields today compared to what we did in the previous 2 versions. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he's told me that he was kind of blown away and wowed by the way that all these different steps, these different layers that we have to do when we do our fields. You know, when you think about it, you harvest your field, you mulch it, you plow it, you lime it, you fertilize it, you pick the rocks up off of it, you may even cultivate it, and you will most likely definitely reseed again. So far we've taken about 3 loads of rocks off this field. That's 6,000 liters, almost 6,000 liters worth. And we got a rock crusher. We're going to use that to do lime. Maybe during the winter months, whatever rocks we do happen to, I don't know, just pick up, if we do pick up any whatsoever, we might convert into maybe selling, distributing, that kind of thing. And I was telling my friend the other day, you know, it's amazing that all these different pieces of equipment and how we do things. And yes, it is true. Fields are done in different layers, different things, different tasks are done. And I was telling him a story about the way fields were done on the farm that I grew up on with my grandfather and my dad. And late fall, mid-fall would be the liming process. After all the fields were harvested, the fields would be limed, and we let that lime sit on the field probably up until close to December. And if the ground wasn't too frozen, we'd come back by after the rains and everything else and chain harrow it in, and then we'd leave it. And then come, say, early spring, mid-spring, we throw down a layer of fertilizer, let that get soaked in by the rains for a couple of weeks or more, come back, chain harrow again maybe one more time, and then plow. And once the field was plowed, stop right here right now. Once the field was plowed, looking at our overhead view, not quite a field like this, but let's just say that our fields range anywhere from 1.5 acres all the way up to 5.5 acres, and our biggest field was 30 acres of hay. Well, my grandfather would get the grandkids, and that'd be me, my sister, my 4 other cousins, and the two next door neighbors who we also considered family. And we'd stand at the edge of the field, about 10 feet apart, sometimes 12 feet, and we'd walk the length of the field picking rocks, putting them in a little basket that we had slung around our shoulders, and when our basket got full, we'd take them over to the side to a place where it was designated, where it was called the rock pile, and just dump the rocks in the rock pile. Now you can imagine us doing that all day, and all the different fields you had to take care of. And once those rocks were picked, more chain harrowing was done, which usually that became my job. As I got older, I've been in the seat of a tractor ever since I was about 10. And I've plowed them, I've disked them, I've spread fertilizer, I've spread lime, and it's not crushed lime like we do here on Farming Simulator. It was dolomitic lime, which is pelletized lime, which broadcasts further and wider, and it's a slow feeding lime, which means the rain has to dissolve it into the ground in order for it to do its job. Now when we did the 30-some-odd acres of hay and we limed it, we would go down to the local co-op, pick up 2 big gigantic 5-ton carts of lime, 2 of them. They were driven by a PTO, power takeoff, and we'd put them on 2 tractors, and my dad would start on one end, I'd start on the other, and we'd meet in the middle. And when liming was done on the smaller fields, that would be done the smaller spreader on the back of our Massey Ferguson tractor, or in the case of a 1-acre field or half-acre field, if we had something to do with on a smaller field like that, we would wear cloth spreaders that had a metal bottom and a spreading disc, and you'd put about 10 to 15 pounds of lime in it and just take off walking and crank a handle by hand and spread that lime all over the field. By the time we became adults, my cousins and I, and by the time my grandfather and my father decided to sell that big old farm, we had piles and piles of limestone and quartz rocks stacked up, enough to fill at least, I'm pretty sure I could say, 3 dump trucks, big dump trucks, those 10-wheeler, 12-wheeler type dump trucks. I just imagine, I mean, can you imagine the years going by from the time we were about able to pick up a rock and put it in a basket and carry the basket? And of course, if you were a smaller child or a smaller kid and you were, say, 6 years old, 7 years old, your basket was smaller and it filled up faster. But that's the way it was done. We would do it by hand as far as rock picking. We didn't have the fancy little rock picker like I'm pulling here to take rocks off the field and stones off the field. Be able to haul it and dump it in someplace. It had to all be done by hand. And yes, y'all could probably be screaming right now at the screen, slave labor, because of child labor laws. Well, we all benefited from that farm. We raised our own beef cattle. We sold beef to some major corporations that sell beef products, and we butchered our own beef. If there was a next door neighbor that say had a pig that was ready to be butchered, turned into bacon and pork chops and sausage and all that stuff, breakfast sausage and all that stuff, my grandfather would work a trade out where we would trade him a nice 3-year-old, 4-year-old beef cow for one of his pigs to have, and then we would divide that up among my mom and dad and my sister and myself, my aunt and her husband and children, and my uncles and their children and wives. Same went for the gardens that my grandfather grew. My grandfather had a 1-acre garden behind his house. He had almost a 2-acre garden down by my great aunt Margaret's house, which was on the lower end of the farm. On the backside lower end of the farm, which we call the small side, that was where my aunt Margaret had a house, and then they had bought my dad and my grandfather decided to buy that farm adjacent to it. We had a lane that led from the small barn and from the fields on that side of the farm to my aunt's house, and we would go down there, and if we were working in the field, she would make lunches for us. She would get out in the gardens with us. She'd get out in the fields with us. So here you can imagine my 50-year-old, 60-year-old, 70-year-old great aunt getting out there and doing work right alongside the rest of us. Very, fulfilling and hard work, but by the time you reaped what you sowed, it was well worth it. Well, I'm going to finish taking these rocks off the field. I will then start up my little rock crushing machine, and then I'm going to go get a seeder, bring it back here to seed, and then we'll look into maybe see what the prices are for barley, and we'll sell some barley and make some money. We'll go check on Robert and see how Robert's doing, because we got to get that field done. Maybe tomorrow we may decide to buy some chickens and get some chickens on the go, since we've got some food to feed them. But most definitely tomorrow we will be starting. That'll be September the 2nd. We will be starting some grass work. For the time being, I have a silo there put out by 82 Studios. It's multi-purpose silo, and that's where I'm getting my lime from right now. It's costing about the same as what it cost me if I bought big bags and hauled them back. I did not see any lime storage construction wise. I'm thinking about getting a seed bin for seed storage, and I'm thinking about maybe another small machine shop or shed outdoors, which is easier to access than the one we have here on the farm. Stop right there. I don't know if there is lime storage. I wish that we had that little triple threat storage bin that we had on 17. I think we had it on 19, where you could store seed, lime, and fertilizer, about 60,000 liters worth. It was a drive-through silo, but for right now I'm using this. I do have liquid fertilizer up there, and like I said, we have our lime crusher. I think we have about 6,000 liters of rocks right now so far. I am going to turn that on eventually and turn it into lime. I'm going to get all the rocks off this field and the remaining 2 fields that need to be plowed that I want to get done, the bigger fields. Now, could you imagine picking rocks off a field this size? By hand, not with machine. I couldn't imagine it. I just blows my mind. Well, I will see you in a little bit. Thank you, Mr. Benstead. I hope the sound is level now on the vehicles is more nominal and not as excruciating loud as I found out in editing on the last episode. Thank you, Farmer Foley, for your advice. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you when we're getting ready to seed this field. Well, we've just been down to the store. And I got a seeder for our canola. We got the Verlin DG2T2000, looks like. Oops. We got field 6 is plowed and been limed. And we've got Robert over here on field 2. He's finishing up plowing over there. We're going to have to get stones off that, stones off field 6. We came up about, I think it's like 290, maybe 200, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, we get 210 liters shy of 10,000 liters just off this one field alone. And we've loaded up the tipper trailer with barley to sell. I've got to get that bale out of the way. So let's jump in the old fence. Let's take a look. At barley. It's going for $834 at the general store, so we'll mark that since we don't know where it is. I think it's back here behind the farm. And then we'll take that and sell it. We'll come back when we'll start playing our canola. Some time has passed, that is for sure. I need to get over and fertilize field 6 before I do any stone work. I'm thinking the store is back this way. I'm not quite sure, but we'll find out. I really do want to get onto the grass work and get those grass fields worked. I may work one later on today. I don't know if I'm going to plant these other 2 fields. I might plant the one here that Robert's working on in canola also, but the other one, the number 6 field, I will probably leave empty. I don't want to say fallow, but let's say empty for time being until springtime, since our planting window is, you know, slowly getting away from us, because we are on the 1st of September. Fair warning, you know, if you've got crops that need to be harvested and they're inside that harvest window and they're showing harvested, you need to get them off the field. Get them off the field before you sleep the night like I did and wind up losing about 1/3 of the field. Let's see, I think it's over here. Is it over here? Yeah, it's right there. Okay. Alright. How we get to it is, I want to go slow because I don't know. Well, I'm going to assume it's this way since the road right there is blocked. Oh, I hear a sawmill. So this money will make up for the cost that we've used to lease the seeder, buy our lime, that sort of thing. I've had a little crack at doing some forestry work over by field 6 to see how that goes. Those trees are really not worth much because they can't be turned into planks. And I've got my fingers crossed. I'm hoping, against all hope, that we get the Trex, or what I call the T-Rex, out here for we can use, because what does this say? To let and for sale. Blizzard Estates. Okay, 11.3 acres. I wonder how much that is. Let's take a look at our We're up here. How much does that go for? Hey, okay, well, we're not going to be buying that anytime soon, are we? But yeah, what was I? I'm trying to think what I was saying. Yeah, I hope they come up with the T-Rex, because those trees, like I said, are worthless. And the T-Rex was good for, we can cut across this field, can we not? All right. Go, Robert, go. Yeah, those trees are worthless, and I want to get rid of them because one of the reasons why, these are those little funky trees that grow within the ground, below the ground, kind of like the one we have up here at the farm in the corner. And they're hard to get rid of. They're a pain in the butt, as far as I'm concerned. And the thing with me is, they're causing some lag over next to that field. I don't like that, so I want to get rid of at least some of them, if not all of them. Maybe just a few along that edge. And I've noticed that some of the lag has disappeared since I've chopped down 2 of them. I tried a stump grinder on them. I've released a stump grinder. It's sitting over there. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any more work over there forestry-wise, because it gets real, how can I, lag's the best word I can use for it. Lag is the best word I can use. I mean, it just gets so, it's like trees like this. But really more along the lines, if you look at this one, of this one. See how it's grown into the ground? So I tried over here, can't get rid of this one, so I guess this one's going to stay. Even try with the chainsaw, can't get rid of it. But those over there, you know, I tried with the stump grinder to stump grind and grind some of the stuff away, and I got one tree gone. I had about a half of a tree gone, and it's like the tractor's moving in quicksand. And when I was doing that over there, because it was so hard to do, I got a warning on the PlayStation saying that my PS4 was overheating, and I've got a cooling fan on and everything else. I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? So I don't know. I'm hoping that we do get that T-Rex out before too long. Hope it becomes available where I can at least release it for a day and knock some of those trees down. I think that will solve some of the problem I'm having with FPS rate. So we got canola, and we're going to plant canola in this field. Hopefully come springtime we'll have a nice little crop that we can sell. Now, after this is planted and sown, most definitely we'll probably have to come back and roll this field. That's usually how the case. And what I was telling you earlier, how when we were kids and we had to pick rocks up off the ground, and then after we picked the rocks up, there'd be another harrowing, and then maybe the planting, and then after the planting was done, another fertilizing state would be put on it. And then after that, my grandfather would have me come out to the field with the Massey. We had a double concrete roller, similar to the one that came out a couple days ago at the store. And we would, I would, roll that field, compact it after it had been seeded. A lot of steps in prepping a field. You know, I'm hoping that we get a better stump grinder or something like I can remove some trees with. I don't want to, deforest the entire map, but I do want to get rid of the ones that I think are causing me some problems on that field over there. I noticed it when I was harvesting, it slowed. I mean, my harvester it wobbled. The frame rate is just out. It's bad, real bad. I'm hoping that later on down the line I can remove some of those trees and get rid of some of that problem. I've noticed it when I come out of the main yard over here that the same thing happens, and I think I have an idea if I removed about 2 or 3 different trees in certain areas, that might free up what's happening. This is going to be a slow process, as we all know, that the way things are on here, that we're going to have slow growing times, slow production times, and we have to take that into account. We don't just plant a crop and wham bam 3 or 4 days later, but we harvest. Now it looks like it's going to be months on end with the wait. So that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking, okay, you know, canola for this one, maybe canola number 2. And leave that one blank. I want to put soybean in it. If we get some money up through contract work, helping neighbors out, and whatnot, selling crop, whatever, we may just, or I may just look at buying, maybe add another field to the farm collective. I don't know just yet. We shall see. I am going to finish up on this field, get it done. And the next thing I believe that I will do after that, if it needs it, if it says it needs it, will be get our roller and roll our field. I cannot believe it. Almost 10,000 liters just off this field alone. That's wild. Well, I will see you when this field's done, and we'll go from there.
Guitar ring, he loves to play, he loves to sing the old songs passed down all those years ago. He'll do every one he knows and say, you all sing along. Like a drop to the rain, like a car to a train, a voice that sings an old refrain, linking the chain. Like a song on the wind, doesn't end or begin, just keeps on coming round again. A link in the chain, a link in the chain. Tapping toes and clapping hands, just a little old string band that plays. The fiddler calls another tune, the people circle round the room and dance every Saturday. Like a drop to the rain, like a car to a train, a voice that sings an old refrain, a link in the chain. Like a song on the wind, doesn't end or begin, just keeps on coming round again. A link in the chain, a link in the chain. Circle that's unbroken, wheel within a wheel, brings you back around and makes you feel like a drop to the rain, like a car to a train, a voice that sings an old refrain, a link in the chain. Like a song on the wind, doesn't end or begin, just keeps on coming round again. A link in the chain, yeah, it keeps on coming round again. A link in the chain, a link in the chain.
Well, the field number 3 here has been seeded. It's been fertilized. And now it's time to be rolled, it looks like. If we look right here, after it's 100% fertilized, our yield bonus right now is 95%. I think after we roll it, it should be around 100, excuse me. It's growing and it's fully planted. So we are going to now roll our field. And that should have the seed bed fully planted. Let's get around here a little bit. I think all in all it's been a pretty good day. We got our other two fields plowed. We got one of them limed and ready to go. We're going to lime the other one, cultivate them, fertilize them, get them ready. I think I am going to put canola up there in field 2. Take care of that situation. Tomorrow, I think we're going to start grass work. Made a little, speaking of, I was thinking about that, we just passed it. I didn't have a chance to show you, but I made a little executive decision. I decided to get rid of the Bethune fertilizer spreader. It only holds about just a little over 4,000 liters, and the Hardy that I bought, I'll show you real quick. We bought this Hardy. It holds 5,200 liters, and then this extension tank, I believe it holds another 1,000. No, it holds another 1,500. Yeah, that's why the money is down a little bit. Plus, we made a few repairs on some things. We made repairs on the I made repairs on the plow and one of the tractors. This one and the other, this Fendt and the other John Deere are going to definitely need to be worked on after this day is through. I'm going to check and see what it's, if the Brendel or Bradell lime spreader is going to probably need repaired also. But all in all, I think we've had a good day. We've rocked our field, and now we're rolling our field. You could probably say that I'm the Ayatollah of rock and rolla. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, hit the like button for me, please. If you haven't subscribed yet, give it that old subscribe button a good old smack. I'm glad you could have joined me today. I hope to see you on the next go around. Like I said, tomorrow we'll probably be getting into some grass work and getting those fields repurposed. Maybe do a little silaging. Pack our bunkers full if we can. I want you to have a great day and a great week if I don't see you again. I want you to stay safe. I want you to stay healthy. And just enjoy yourself. I look forward to seeing you again. And as always, friends and neighbors, happy farming. We'll see you another day.